Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Welcome on into Asian baseball today. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and we are excited to be back with you after a week off. I got with me the guys, Tokyo Brandon and Adam Trigger. We're happy to be here. We're excited. Playoffs are right around the corner. We've still been betting KBO with football going on, with MLB playoffs right around the corner. It doesn't matter. We're still diving deep on the card. And while I say we, I should really just say these guys. I mean, they do the work. I just cash off of them all year long. Brandon, we'll start with you, man. Speaking of cash in, how about the last 3 days you've been seeing it? Last week you've been seeing it. I mean, the whole time you've been at WagerTalk, you've been seeing it. But the most profitable all-sports handicapper, numero uno, the last week and last 3 days at WagerTalk. So, Brandon, it's more of a formality, but I guess how are you doing, and what do you have up tonight?
Doing pretty good, thanks. Yeah, last 3 days and last 7 days, number one all sports profit at WagerTalk. So it doesn't happen very often, and those statistics are updated by the second. So I could drop any minute, but if you go to WagerTalk.com right now, you'll see my name up there on the right-hand side, which I'm pretty proud of. Japanese basketball, Chinese basketball, and Korean basketball are all starting up. And Japanese basketball over the weekend, I went 5-2. And in the KBO, until last night, I was on a 6-0 run. Last night I went 0-2, unfortunately, in the KBO last night, but on an 18-6 run in all Asian baseball. Japanese baseball is off until the weekend. They're going to start their playoffs this weekend. But I do have for $9 Monday, my entire weekend of college football is up, the whole package for $9. And that's on Tokyo Brandon's page at WagerTalk.com right now. So go grab that.
Of course, it is, as Tokyo Brandon said, $9 Monday. Any play that's loaded on the site right now you can get for just $9. You see Trig's page there as well, 4%er that's rocking tonight. Been pretty good with those 75% clip. You've been hitting those at. I know Trig, it cooled down for you a little bit yesterday, but that just means it's time for the bounce back. How are you doing? And obviously that's your lone play tonight. You have anything else up for clients?
No, it's been going great. Yeah, 0-2 yesterday in the NFL, but it's my first losing NFL day basically of the season. So the fact that that's coming in week 4, I'm pretty happy with. Nicely ahead in the NFL. 3-1 weekend in college football with another 5% winner on UCLA. So really, college football has been great. I think 6-2 the last 2 weeks, 2-0 on 5%ers this year. Major League Baseball up over 50 units on the season. So that's great Major League Baseball season as we wind down there, and ahead in KBO as well. So all the sports currently going on, I'm in the plus in. So I really can't complain. Like you said, 4% NFL goes tonight, and my 4% KBO play for Tuesday, I'm going to give out on the show at the end of the show. So no, won't have to pay for that. You'll get it for free at the end of the show.
Free info. That's what we're all about here on the WagerTalk YouTube page. You can like, you can subscribe, never miss any of that great content we have going. If you have a streaming device as well, a Roku TV, you can add the WagerTalk app there and never miss a second of any of your favorite shows. See our mugs up on the screen there every Monday evening at this time. Guys, let's start off with our standings update here. Just get people updated from what happened, since we're only on every Monday now. So we'll update you at the beginning of the week, and we'll give you actionable info to hopefully cash in on for this foreseeable future. SSG, even with one loss, still clinging on to that top spot. The real interesting part here, I would say, is the surge of KT, 7-3 in their last 10. But if you look down below the top 5 standings, you see NC only 5-5 in their last 6, but they're charging 2 straight wins. And Samsung has somehow entered the chat at 63-74, though. 3 straight wins. We'll hear what Trig thinks about this playoff standing. We'll circle back to him in just a second. But I want to start with you, Brandon, because the Dolphins, your Dolphins, they played on Thursday, so you didn't have anything to watch on Sunday, so all you had was to get prepared. So Brandon's coming not just with one chart, you got 2 charts. We're going to talk a little bullpens. We're going to talk a little ERA. Always love, we won't call it when the sausage is made. Brandon was telling me he's not as crazy about that analogy. He's a pancake fan, so let him know how the pancakes are made and these charts that you have for the folks that go into your handicapping numbers, Brandon.
I appreciate that, Dan. As we were talking about before the show, if you've ever seen a sausage be made, it's kind of like blowing up a balloon with meat. But anyways, by the way, WagerTalk's TikTok channel is kind of blowing up right now, and I made my first TikTok video over there.
Nice.
I put a college football free play. It's available only on WagerTalk's TikTok, so go over there. They've uploaded that for me about 4 hours ago, so go grab that. So yeah, I wanted to, because the playoffs are going to start soon. Right now, some of the games are meaningless, some of them are meaningful. But when we look forward to the playoffs, we kind of want to see, what's behind the capping. So I have 2 charts for you today. The first one, I want to talk about bullpens. So if you could throw that chart up. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So these are bullpen rankings. I have the rank on the right side. And as you can see, no surprise here. LG, KT, NC. Well, NC is a bit of a surprise, but usually the cream of the crop teams have the better bullpens, and the crap of the crop teams have the bad bullpens. And that's kind of what's showing here. But NC's bullpen is surprisingly good, even though they're quite mediocre this year. Samsung towards the bottom. SSG is actually ranked 7th. They don't have a really good bullpen. And if you've watched SSG play, they do tend to give up a lot of runs at the end of the games. So that's something to look out for as the playoffs approach, because SSG is a lock to get into the playoffs. Adam's going to cover the playoff picture in a little more detail when I'm done here. But yeah, Kia's got a pretty good bullpen. They were bad at the beginning of the season, kind of moving up there. Doosan, mediocre. Kiwoom, mediocre. Kiwoom's mediocre at everything except their starting rotation. Starting rotation, really good. So those are some bullpen numbers. You can screenshot that and use this for the playoffs, because these numbers are pretty going to stay valid. This is an accumulation of the whole season. So these numbers will stay valid through the playoffs. So if you're capping, what team's going to crap it away at the end, what team's going to kind of make a comeback at the end, you can use these numbers for that. So if we could go to the next chart, which is a very interesting one. Thank you for putting that up, guys. This is first 5 ERA. And I made one small mistake. Choi Wante is on there 2 times. So just kind of ignore Choi Wante's second entry there. I did this by hand. So going to be mistakes here and there. But what's interesting is this is not a stat that a lot of people look at. But if you notice, I included, I took out one guy from Hanwha. What was his name? The one guy from Hanwha that I really like. I'm blanking on his name right now. But I took that guy out because they're not in the playoffs. So in the playoffs, we can use this. If you want to make first 5 bets, these pitchers are the best at first 5 innings. So Adam Plutko, the best pitcher in the KBO for first 5. He's got a 0.92 ERA in the first 5 innings. So this is just something, I'm not going to read the whole chart to you, but this is something to take note of. Kia's got 2 guys in the top. This is top 12, top 11. So Kia's got 2 guys in there, and Kiwoom's got 2 guys in there. Kiwoom, Amu Jing. Amu Jing's one of my favorite Korean pitchers. Got a great first 5 ERA. Choi Wante for Kiwoom, as we talked about. Kim Kwang-hyun, we've talked about him on the show before. He's a major league caliber pitcher who pitched for the Cardinals and actually was invited to go back to the major league and decided to stay here because of the pandemic and other reasons. Kuche Mo, obviously, NC. Don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not, but Kuche Mo's got a great first 5 ERA as well. So take these, and obviously Joker down there for Kiwoom. So actually, Kiwoom's got 3 guys here. They got Jokish, they got Choi Won Tae, and they've got Amu Jin. So Kiwoom, great first 5 team when these guys are up. And LG, when Adam Plutko takes the mound, you can confidently bet LG first 5 money line when Adam Plutko takes the mound if the numbers are good. So take this, screenshot it, and use this in the playoffs for games coming up in the playoffs. These are the teams and these are the pitchers who pitch the best in the first 5 according to my numbers.
So a double chart there for you from our guy at Tokyo, Brandon. That's his way of saying thank you for tuning in here to Asian Baseball Today, each and every Monday on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Trig, let's circle back to that standings update, because with a week since we've talked, this playoff picture, the time is nigh if anybody's going to be jockeying for position. So, Trig, what have we kind of learned since the last time we talked?
Dan, since we only do one show, I just want to go through team by team because I'm going to tell you who to bet on this week and who not to. It basically just going to give it to you all in one shot right here. There's essentially 5 teams right now that'll play meaningless games the rest of the way. Okay? You've got Hanwha completely done, and they've only got 2 games left. They've got 2 games left. They won last night, so they kind of got their win. They snapped their losing streak. They're done. That's not a team I would probably be willing to bet on in any capacity the rest of the way. Doosan, they've played 4 games left for Doosan. They've played harder than I've expected them to of late, but even if you look at the chart right there, still 3-7 in their last 10. Not a team I'd be looking to bet on the rest of the way. Lotte, completely done, 2 games left. I could see them not caring at all, except their final game is Daeho Lee's final game, and that's kind of a big deal for Lotte. He's a KBO legend. It'll be his last game, so they'll probably try in that very final game on Saturday, but they're completely done. I wouldn't be willing to bet on them in the first game, but maybe Saturday just because they're going to want to send Daeho Lee off. Now go to the top of the standings. SSG has pretty much got the league wrapped up. I tweeted out yesterday that I thought they might not really care that much against Hanwha, and sure enough, they got beat. And that means LG has pretty much got second place wrapped up. But it would take, so right now, if you look at those 2 teams, LG plays 5 games, SSG only plays 3. SSG is basically 1 game away from locking up the league. So those 2 teams, essentially meaningless games the rest of the way for SSG and LG. Now, they're really good. You can bet on those teams, but they might rest some guys this week because it's been a long season and there's no reason to get guys hurt before the playoffs. So I'd pump the brakes on those teams because you're not going to get any value on them either. The teams that have something to play for that you might want to look to bet in spots, KT and Kiwoom are now essentially tied. Actually, KT is a couple percentage of points ahead of Kiwoom for 3rd place. That's a big deal because there's a huge difference in finishing 3rd or finishing 4th and having to play in that wild card round. So those 2 teams, Kiwoom's got 3 games left. KT has 5 games left, and I expect them to be, playing hard until they can wrap that up. And then Kia and NC will be deciding that 5th and final playoff spot. And the Samsung Lions just won't go away, even though it's kind of a pipe dream for them to make the playoffs. They just continue to play hard every single night, and they're not a team I would fade at this point. So that's 5 teams that I wouldn't bet this week, and the 5 teams that have something to play for. If you get them in the right spot, their bullpen is rested, I can just about guarantee they're going to give an effort, and you can use that to sort of look at, the rest of the way, 3-4 days left in the regular season. 5 days left in the regular season. Those are the types of teams that I would look to bet on, the ones that still have something to play for the final few days of the KBO season.
The bet on and bet off State of the Union from our guy Adam Trigger right there. Guys, let's get into only 2 games on the slate here today, so we're going to give you both of them here on Asian Baseball Today. Let's start with this Kia Tigers and LG Twins matchup. It's a battle of the top 2 or 2 of the top 5 teams, excuse me. You know the NC's rooting for LG in this one, but Adam, I'll start with you. How do you think you're going to be attacking this one? We got the Kia Tigers 120 money line favorites, total in this one 8.5.
Yeah, I like Kia here. Listen, there was a point in time last week where the NC Dinos were a half game back of Kia.
Yep.
Kia had lost like 9 or 10 in a row. It looked like they were going to blow this final wild card spot. And Kia won a huge game where I think they may have beat Chang Mo Koo, or they beat one of NC's good guys and held on to that 5th spot. And since that game, they're 5-2. They just look like the Kia team that built the big lead in the first place, kind of rejuvenated. And they're the type of team I want to back right now because I fully expect them to close out this 5th and final wild card spot over the next few days. The LG Twins are a fantastic team, but LG is one of those teams that I just don't think is going to really care much the rest of the way. They're not going to catch SSG. Even if LG was to win out, there's almost no chance of them catching SSG for first place. It's just not going to happen. So, and I think they know that. I think they'll probably rest guys. I think LG is more than content being the number 2 team right now because it's just mathematically almost impossible. SSG is not going to lose every single game the rest of the way. Chan Kyu Im is going to start here for LG. He's one of the guys in this LG rotation that I would fade. 4.66 ERA on the season, 1.44 whip, and Kia slammed him earlier this year. And Kia's going to go with Yuli Lee. He's a guy I was critical on a couple shows back, but he had one of those big starts against NC in that series where Kia took 2 of 3. And he's kind of shown a little bit uptick since he pitched. LG's only seen him once this year. He was outstanding against LG, and he's the better pitcher here. Brandon talked about Kia's bullpen in the open. They've been pretty good, and they're rested. They got the day off yesterday with the rain out. I think Kia, who actually has a large fan base in Seoul, so this game's at Jamsil, but Kia always packs the house at Jamsil with fans there. It's a great spot for Kia and a really cheap price, in my opinion. So I really like Kia minus 120 here.
Kia or nothing for our guy, Adam Trigger. How about you, Brandon? You agree? You think that this is just a slam dunk, or I guess I should say a home run spot for the Kia Tigers? How are you betting this one?
Yeah, so this is a spot where you kind of can't go with just the analytics and numbers because, Liu Lee, one of the bright young stars in Korea who's starting for Kia tonight, he shut out LG his last start, whereas Im Chan-kyu against Kia, he gave up 4 runs, got kind of blown up. But in their last 3 starts, Liu Lee's been a little bit better. What's interesting, though, is Im Chan-kyu has a better FIP than Liu Lee, which is kind of interesting. But at this point, you kind of got to throw numbers out and bet on situations because situation is everything at this time of year. You can't just say, oh, well, Doosan's got a good pitcher on the mound, they'll probably win, because Doosan has basically crapped their season away and they have nothing to play for. So you got to take momentum into account a lot more than you normally would. My numbers have this game fairly even, surprisingly, and my numbers like LG in the first 5 innings, which is kind of strange. But I'm going to go against the numbers here, and I agree with Adam. I think Kia's got a lot to play for. I think they got the better starter on the mound, and despite the fact that their bullpen is not as good as LG, I don't think LG, in a situation like this, I don't think LG is going to go, break out all their guns and go for it. So despite having the better bullpen and the better lineup, I think LG will be resting some guys, and I don't think they'll be all gung-ho to win the game. So you got to throw the numbers out sometimes in bet situations, and in this situation, I agree with Adam. Kia is the better play.
So both of our experts agreeing Kia the way to go. You can hop in the comments, let us know what you think about our featured game or our first featured game today, because now we're going to talk about this KT game that's coming up here against Samsung. Really 2 teams that are playing well right now. I mean, Samsung riding 3 straight wins. You got KT who's ripped off 4 straight. So Brandon, I'll throw it back your way. We got minus 140, the money line favorite for KT. Lower total in this one, 7.5. How are you betting this one, Brandon?
So this is going to be my best bet at the end of the show because tonight there's going to be a jailbreak. Had to get some Thin Lizzy in there. But anyways, so, yeah, there she is. I didn't know what to sing, actually. I just came back from Vietnam. I can't think of any Vietnam songs to sing. So, yeah, I thought a little Thin Lizzy. So
the sad Billy Joel one, that Miss Saigon one.
Oh, that's right.
That one's
okay,
a little
yeah. And I was in Saigon. Actually, Saigon changed its name to Ho Chi Minh after the Vietnam War. So yeah, I was in Ho Chi Minh, Saigon. So, anyways, yeah, that's a good one. Good one. Don't know a lot of Billy Joel lyrics, but yeah. So Adam kind of did a great job of clearing up the picture here as far as KT is concerned. They're kind of in a must-win situation at this point. Samsung, their chances to make the playoffs are basically a pipe dream, but they're plugging away. But you can only plug away with so much talent, and Samsung's bullpen is just awful. And if you break down the pitching here, KT has Benjamin going today, and Benjamin hasn't faced Samsung yet, but in his last 3 starts, he's given up 1, 3, and 0 in his last starts. He's got a really good strikeout rate of 64 and 22, 64 strikeouts to 22 walks. And KT is just a better team, and they got a better bullpen. So in this situation, I like to go with the bullpens. So I'm not going to give out exactly what my bet's going to be for this game, but it is the best bet at the end of the show. Wang Tae-in actually has been pretty good for Samsung. He's given up only 1 and 2 runs against KT in his 2 starts against them. And in his last 3, he's given up 6, 1, 4. So it looks like he's getting a little tired, but against KT, he's been really solid. It's a tough cap, but I do have a play for this, my best bet at the end of the show.
Look at that professional tease out of Brandon right there. So you'll find out. You got to stick around for the best bet there. Might have given it away if you listen deep to the analysis. But Trig, where are you going in this game? This KT Samsung game figures to be a decent matchup, but how are you betting it?
Well, yeah, listen, Samsung's probably not going to catch Kia. I mean, it would take an absolute miracle for that to happen, just based on how far they're back at this point. But this Samsung team they've shown that they're going to play hard right till the end. So I'm not counting them, even though they're probably out of it. This is a team that I'm not betting against. They've won 3 straight. They've been showing up and giving a huge effort for the just for them to get to play themselves into the conversation. It was insane based on where they were at the All-Star break. I think they had lost like 11 straight games going into the break, something like that. Bunch of injuries. I thought this team was going to finish last. So the fact that they've been able to play their way to where they are is incredible. And I'm just not going to bet against them right now because they show up and play every game. They've got Tae-in Wan on the mound, whose numbers are almost as good as Benjamin's. Good enough for me to not want to bet against him. But at the same token, I'm certainly not going to bet against KT with Wes Benjamin on the mound, who's just locked in right now. I mean, his last 3 starts, he's pitched into the 7th inning in all 3 of them. He's given up a combined 4 runs over his last 3 starts. And he looks like, remember, KT got him halfway through the year, and he really looks like one of the best import pitchers and like just a stud in this league right now. So there's no way I'm going to bet against him at these odds, which are, KT minus 140. I would almost say KT minus 140, given the fact that their bullpen is rested, is probably the right side. But my problem with that is Samsung hasn't played since Saturday. And even though their bullpen isn't great, the high leverage bullpen guys on Samsung are pretty good. The Seungwon Ohs and the top 2 or 3 guys they have in that bullpen can definitely hang with most bullpens in this league. And those are the guys you're probably going to get from Samsung here. So I know this took a little money when this opened. It's moved a little bit. The number's slightly lower than what I would want. It's the total in this game is 7.5. I would have wanted an 8. And it's a little juiced, but that's probably the right way to look at it. So if you have to play this game, I say under 7.5. It's like minus 130 juice. Probably gets there because both of these starters are great right now, and you're going to get the top bullpen guys on each team. I can't see much more than a 4-3, 3-2, 2-1 type game. I think it's going to be a good game either way. So I lean the under here. It probably gets there.
Looking towards the under, but that all-important little half point, might like it just a little bit better if you were getting that 8 at 7.5. Low total, but maybe under the way to look, according to our guy, Trig. We're going to get you some best bets here, some actionable info in just a second. We've been giving you that all show long, but I just ask you, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and once the video's done, head on over to WagerTalk.com, WT.buzz/AT for Adam Trigger, WT.buzz/TB for Tokyo Brandon. Both of them have bets loaded right this moment for $9 Monday. You can get an entire college football package for my guy Tokyo Brandon, or you can get a 4% bounce back special in Monday Night Football from my guy Adam Trigger. Just $9 today. Cannot beat it. Brandon, I'm going to throw it your way because you teased him earlier. You got to give him the goods now. What are you going with for your best bet on today's edition?
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. We're going to give it away because I loved Adam's analysis. Actually, that's exactly how I was thinking in this game before the lines came out. My notes here say under, ? KT under, ? Juan is pretty good against KT. So Benjamin is a stud, but Juan has been rocked a little bit lately. But he has been good against KT, and I really wanted to look at an under here. And in Samsung games, seeing a 7.5 is, I don't remember ever seeing a 7.5 for a Samsung game. I was hoping this would come out at 9, and I was going to slam the under, but it came out at 7.5. So unfortunately, I'm not betting the under. I am going with KT in what I think will be a close game. I agree with Adam that both teams will leverage their better bullpen guys. But I just think KT's guys are a little bit better, and KT's got a better starting pitcher who's in actual better form. I don't like the -140. I wish it was -120, but it is -140. It is what it is. I'm going with KT on the money line, but I'm not betting the farm. I'm betting a very small percentage on this. We only got 2 games to go through, but I would make a small play on the KT on the money line because they really need this game. And they got a better pitcher, and they got a better bullpen.
Looking at
By
KT,
the way,
yeah.
Like you said, it is $9 Monday, so you can get my whole college football package for $9. So yeah, I'll throw it back. But yes, I am looking at KT on the money line.
Looking at KT on the money line, and for pizza bet money, or in Brandon's case, pancake bet money, KT Wiz -140.
No
That's the way. No sausage, no pizza, just pancakes, Tokyo Brandon style. Trig, how are you going in today's card, or I guess tomorrow morning's card for us here stateside? 2 games to choose from. Are you riding with Tokyo, or you got a play that you like of your own?
So, as long as most books add this game, I just want to, before I break down the bet, Kia and LG was actually supposed to play yesterday. It got rained out, but both teams had the mutual off day today, so they moved it to today. A lot of books don't have it up yet. My guess is they probably will add it as the night goes on. So this, as long as this is widely available, this will be a 4% play for me. If not, I'm going to leave it here. I don't want to put out a client play that no one can bet. Yeah. But I do intend for this to be a 4% play, and that play would be the Kia Tigers on the money line, -120, which is the line that, if it's up at books right now, it looks like -120 is what it's at. Again, I think Kia is. I think the line is too short here on LG, who really doesn't have a whole lot to play for. They're not going to catch SSG. They know they're not going to catch SSG, even though there's a very small mathematical possibility they could. And I think LG is going to be content with the 2 seed. And I think they're going to rest some regulars this week because there's just no point in having a guy get injured in the last week of a meaningless game, especially in the KBO when the bench guys are not nearly what the starters are. So putting your starters out there in a spot that could risk them is really it's just not smart in this league because teams don't have the depth. But the matchup favors Kia as well. Their bullpen, when fresh, is pretty good. And Yuli Lee, I still have Yuli Lee as the better starter. He struggled for a bit. It looked like he was tired. But he seems rejuvenated his last couple starts. He had a really good outing a couple starts ago against NC. and I think he's starting to pitch better. The one time he started against LG earlier this year was like 6 shutout innings. So they didn't see him very well. And it just comes down to Kia ready to close out this wild card. They're the 5th spot, the last team in the playoffs. They're 5-2 in their last 7 games. And I just think Kia, after a long season, is ready to slam the door on this final wild card spot. So Kia minus 120. They have a lot of Kia fans in Seoul, so they should have a great showing in the crowd in this game. Huge game for them. I like the Kia Tigers minus 120. And as long as they put it up, and this game's definitely going to be played tomorrow, it will be a 4% best bet for me.
Trig dropping a 4%er live on the show because as you were talking, I was checking the regulated sports books in the U.S., and we do have the line posted. It's minus 122. We don't give out any free book plugs, but I'll tell you, you can find it on a book that rhymes with Schman Schmool. So you can go and find that wherever you can find it. Minus 122. It just got posted while Trig was talking. So we got Kia on the money line, and we have KT on the money line. That's the best bets from the guys. If you appreciate the show, hop in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and give the guys a huge thanks by buying their $9 plays. You can, of course, buy daily packages if that's your thing, or I mean, you've been watching the guys all season long here. They've been giving you winners all year long. Aren't you ready to be in a committed long-term relationship with these two guys? You can grab their long-term packages over at WagerTalk as well. Always great deals going on. We have an end-of-the-year special that's ending rather soon, so run, don't walk to grab that. Guys, that does it for us. Monday edition ended here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. So we'll see you next Monday. For Trig, for Brandon, for Robert, doing a terrific job behind the scenes, our newest full-time employee at WagerTalk. Gotta love it. We will see you next Monday here on Asian Baseball Today.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.